I think we have something.
You got a voice message. Here we go.
What do we got?
Hi, Joe and Big Al. This is Sharon from Waukesha, Wisconsin. I drive a Honda CRV. I have a kitten named Baby, and I've recently discovered salted caramel vodka as my current drink of choice. My question for you today is regarding Robo-Advisors, specifically Betterment, I guess. When I am making a withdrawal out of my brokerage account at Betterment, can I be confident that my withdrawal is being made in the most tax efficient way? I understand there's other considerations in the broader picture of your overall portfolio and your other types of accounts. But if I was just looking at that brokerage account, are they taking into consideration the most efficient way to draw out those first funds that I may be taking? Appreciate your thoughts. Thanks.
All right. Well, Sharon from Waukesha.
Sharon's a regular. We've heard from her a few times.
We have.
I do like Waukesha.
You've mentioned that before.
No, I just like saying it.
I know you do.
Yeah. I think Sharon's asking a couple of different questions. When it comes to, I guess, in the brokerage account, are they taking a look at the lot level? You know, what is the cost basis?
Sure.
Are they doing an average cost when they sell the funds? Are they doing first in, first out, last in, first out? So there's all sorts of different ways that you can take distributions from a brokerage account. Maybe we can probably just start explaining some of that.
Yeah, elaborate on that. And I can't really specifically talk about Betterment, but I know what we do. I'll talk about that.
Well, I think in most cases that I don't know what she's paying Betterment. If it's just a brokerage house that does not necessarily have an advisor associated with it,
right?
You probably, as the client, need to give the brokerage house direction of what you want to do.
Yeah. So I guess to start at the beginning, so you can do average cost. So that's all your purchases, including your dividend reinvestments at the price that went in at that time, all the shares, average cost per share. That's one way to do it. Another way is you can do first in, first out. So your first shares that you bought when you sell them are the first ones that are sold. Typically in a market that's going up, that would produce more gain, and that's not optimum. So people generally like average cost better than that. But there's yet a better way, which is specific identification or on a lot level. In other words, maybe the last few shares that you bought or dividends that were invested, which is like a purchase, maybe those get sold because they have a lower gain. So that would be on a lot level. That's what we do. I don't really know what Betterment does.
Yeah. And so I think if you're using a brokerage firm, as you're selling stocks or trying to create income from the overall portfolio, I mean, those are key things that you want to make sure that they're doing, or that you're asking them, or that, I would say in most cases, they're probably just using average cost.
I would agree.
I think that's the default.
Yeah. Agreed.
If I'm looking at my brokerage account that I'm self-directing, and if I'm selling any shares, they're going to ask me, would you want to use average cost, or is there something specifically different that you would like to use?
Right.
But if she's using a robo-advisor, paying 20, 30 basis points and saying, hey, distribute the dividends to me, or hey, I need $1,000 a month from my brokerage account, I have no idea. I'm guessing. Sharon needs to do a little bit more research. Yeah. But she knows now what to tell them to do.
Right, exactly. And that actually is, now robo-advisors tend to be more automated. So you may not get
hence the name.
Hence the name. Robots are doing this, as opposed to, and it depends what firm you go to. I mean, for example, it may be, the right answer might be to have the biggest gain if you're in the 12% bracket because it's tax-free, right? So it just depends. So everyone's situation is a little bit different. With a robo-advisor, you're probably kind of getting one flavor fits all, however they do it.
Sure. I think just to piggyback a little bit more on this is that as you're creating income from your portfolio, you want to look at tax diversification that we talk about quite a bit. So if you're creating income from your brokerage account, are you taking all of the income needed for that given year from the brokerage account? Are you going to take some from the Roth account? Are you going to take some from your tax deferred account? Then again, that's where you would have to give direction. Is saying, hey, I need to generate, let's call it, $60,000 from my portfolio. So I'm going to be taking some principal and earnings. But from that, do you take all of it from the brokerage account? Or do you take some of it from the brokerage, some of it from an IRA, some of it from a Roth to keep you in the lowest tax bracket possible?
Yeah, and I think that's key. And that's why we talk about Roth IRAs so much on this program, because if you have Roth IRAs, you have more tax diversification and you can keep yourself at a higher tax bracket. So that's a good point.
Caramel vodka. You ever had that?
No,
Do you like caramel?
I like salted caramel.
Do
Not sure I
you
like
say
it.
caramel or caramel?
Actually, I do say caramel, come to think of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just said caramel. I just wanted to be different.
She had me while she was saying salted caramel, but once it got to vodka, I was like, okay, I'm out.
You don't like vodka, Andy?
No, not a fan, but I love salted caramel. So,
Mm.
and I said, apparently I say caramel all the time. I haven't even really thought about it that much.
That's kind of my pet peeve. I think it's caramel.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's,
There is
Caramel.
another A in it though.
well, I mean, if you
That sounds
sound
just
it
like-
out, it's caramel.
So, yeah, it sounds,
But I guess I grew up with caramel.
yeah, me
Car-
too.
yeah.
So we got to take a break. We'll be back in just a second. Show's called Your Money, Your Wealth.
Are you prepared for retirement? Schedule a free financial assessment with an experienced financial professional right online at purefinancial.com.